Good afternoon. We are the Group 1. We represent the AFMA 2, Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act of 1997. Section 65, Declaration of Policy. It is hereby declared the policy of the state to give priority to education and training. Since diba agriculture is a poorest sector in the Philippines in 1997 pa lang na natay mga policy kaning AFMA para mapalambo ang agriculture na sektor na nasa section 65 na gina-priority nila ang education mga training sa agriculture and fishery practices. Then, naka-state diri pod ang promote industrialization since sa mga farmers we have is small holding land or small scale land mao pod ning concern sa AFMA. Mao nga sa agriculture and fisheries modernization gina-prioritize ang education ug mga training para mapadayon o mapauswag ang sektor sa agrikultura. Then, efficient use of human resources. Unaan man nato mga resources, sample mga crops, in order to us to gain profit para po sa atong productivity, sa atong crops, para masigurado nga makahimo sila og mas maayo og epekto nga manage sa ilang mga crops og makatabang sa ilang income. Sa Section 66, the National Agriculture and Fisheries Education System or NAFIS. Kani siya mga ang objektiba ni siya is gahatag og suporta gikan sa NAPIS para sa agricultural and fisheries education para mas ma-level up bitaw kung baga mas mahasa pa bitaw din pag modernize and rationalize means kanang makita gyud bitaw nimo nga kabaguan sa ilang sistema sa agriculture and fisheries education system. Ang mga estudyante dili lang nagtuon sa theory but napud sila sa field aron makita nila ang practical nga part sa pag-garden and pag-isda ug mapalambo ang ilang mga lebalan. So sa section 67, education program for elementary and secondary level. There is hereby established an agriculture and fisheries education programs under the NAFIS, especially designed for elementary levels. The program shall be formulated, organized. So, kani siya nga education program more on let the students come up with the ideas like I appreciate the values unsa siya katsada nga sector para sa ako. Dagan na dayon mga na-attract through this education program in agriculture and fisheries na sectors and also to develop outreach program. So the next is Section 68, Post-Secondary Education Programs. There is hereby established a post-secondary program for agriculture and fisheries under the NAFIS. So, kumbaga, kani nga program ilang gi-ensure that the quality and impact of learning sa mga estudyante na sila mga training system na practical and related in agricultural and fisheries. For example, of that is planting crops, growing livestock, and uban pa. Then, being a global competitiveness since magpatig-compete sa ibang bansa since hina pa kaya atong productions diri. And also regular upgrading of learning training facilities, school buildings, laboratory equipment, regular ang ilang pag-upgrade para mas mahanay o manay ilang dagan sa ilang plano o sa ilang program diri dili pareha sa plano nimo sa unsa nimo para sugtan ka. So section 69, network of national centers of excellence for tertiary education. Gitukod ang network of national centers of excellence para sa tertiary education sa agricultural fisheries. Ang kani gibuhat sa mga accredited na college and university nga naay taas nga ability sa educations og sa mga research sa agricultural fisheries and its shall based in following criteria. First is contribution in community and needs. Section 70 Rationalization Plan. For the purpose of upgrading and maintaining a high degree of academic excellence in fields of agriculture and fisheries, kung basahon nimo ang description ani is ang example is na isa ka college nga dili accredited nga NCA gipanghiyo nga mo realign sa ilang mga program dito sa non-agricultural nga mga kurso like into technology. And ang uban nga college nga nangita pa og NCA accreditation nagtinabangay sa accredited nga NCA para mapadayon ang paghatag og nga edukasyon sa ilang mga estudyante sa agricultural and fisheries ug masiguro nga dili mawad-an og pundo ang mga eskwelahan nga naepektuhan sila sa plano. Murag ikaw gid nang sisi sa plano nga ngano gihiblogan nimo siya. Ouch.
Section 71, counterpart funding from LGUs. So, the law states that LGUs must provide at least 10% of the maintenance and other operation expenses budget for these provincial institutions within their area of responsibility. So this means if a province has a budget of 100,000 for operating its institutions, the LGUs within that province must contribute at least 10,000 since 10% man ang ilahang ihatag. So this requirement takes effect within 2 years from the date the law is officially put into effect. Section 72, National Integrated Human Resource Development Plan in Agriculture and Fishery. So the CHED, in coordination with the DA and other relevant government agencies, is mandated to formulate, develop, and implement an integrated human resource development plan for agriculture and fisheries. So the plan will serve as a comprehensive guide for setting priorities in various aspects of human resource development within the agricultural and fisheries sectors, including curricular programs, enrollment, performance targets, and investment programs. So, Section 73, the Output-Oriented Performance Standards. All public and private universities and colleges designated as centers of excellence are required to install a computerized monitoring and evaluation system that collects and measures variables related to institutional performance based on the output-oriented performance standard. So these standards will serve as the primary instrument for evaluating the performance and educational institutions and assess the effectiveness of an institution based on its output such as student performance, research outcomes, and community engagement. So Section 74, Evaluation System. So the initial evaluation system is conducted 1 year after the effectivity of the act. Subsequent evaluations are conducted every years thereafter. So the evaluation is conducted by a third party, which is the evaluation includes the management and educational experts of national stature, representatives from key sectors of the agriculture and fisheries industries, and representatives from various government departments, including the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. So, ang kani siya, ang 73 ug 74 kay connect ra ni sila. So, Section 75, Agriculture and Fisheries Board. So, in essence, this section aims to provide multiple pathways for individuals to enter fisheries and agriculture professions. It acknowledges both practical experience and formal education as valuable qualifications. So, in Section 76, Continuing Agriculture and Fisheries Education Program, the program aims to address the current education and training needs of teachers, professors, and educators in agriculture and fisheries. So the program will involve upgrading pre-service and in-service training for teachers in home economics livelihood education or HELI for the primary level and technology and home economics THE for the secondary level. So Section 77 Scholarship Program. National Scholarship Program is designed to encourage academic staff to pursue advanced degrees in agriculture and fisheries. This program aims to create a pool of highly skilled professionals who can contribute to research, innovation, and development. The scholarship program may also provide opportunities for graduate work in foreign universities, allowing Filipino scholars to learn from international experts and bring back valuable knowledge. Section 78 Merit System. It's emphasized the importance of merit system for promoting academic personnel in public and private universities and colleges. This system, which is output-oriented, focuses on rewarding individuals based on their contribution to research, teaching, and community engagement. The goal is to encourage academic excellence and promote the culture of innovation and productivity within this institution.
Section 79. The Budgetary Allocation Scheme. The budgetary allocation scheme for NAFAS shall be as follows. First, the current appropriation or budget of state universities and colleges that are herein designated as NCES shall continue and shall be modified and adjusted in succeeding years to meet the standards of the rationalized programs of the institutions as approved by Congress and shall be included in the Annual General Appropriations Act. Second, NCES created under this act shall likewise receive budgetary support based on their programs and new staffing patterns as approved by DBM and included in the Annual General Appropriations Act 1.
Section 80 Declaration of Policy reinforces the importance of research and development in agriculture and fisheries. It emphasizes the needs to invest in research, invention, and innovation, promoting indigenous capabilities in their application in the country's economic and national life. Section 81, the National Research and Development System in Agriculture and Fisheries, outlines the plan to strengthen the National Research and Development System in Agriculture and Fisheries within 6 months. This involves embracing, supporting, and consolidating existing research institutions and programs. The section also highlights the importance of separate but coordinated research effort for fisheries and agriculture, recognizing the unique challenges and opportunities within each sector. Section 82, Special Concerns in Agriculture and Fisheries Research Services, delves into specific concern related to agriculture and fisheries research. It emphasizes the needs for multidisciplinary approaches that involve folks, and their organizations, as well as those engaged in food and non-food production and processing. The section underscores the importance of research institution in enjoying autonomy and academic freedom to foster innovation and creativity. It also emphasizes the need to harmonize the merit and output-oriented promotion system for scientific personnel, ensuring that the government research system remains competitive in attracting and retaining top talent. The section calls for the use of appropriate technology to protect the environment, reduce production costs, improve product quality, and increase value added for global competitiveness.
Oh, hello everyone, I'm Marcus Sunbinga and today I'm gonna report the section 83 to up to 88. So section 83, Funds for Research and Development. Funding for agriculture and fisheries research and development will include multi-year budgets as grants with at least 1% of gross value added allocated by 2001. So the Department of Finance will create revenue measures for this support. At least 20% of funds will support basic research, up to 80% for applied research, and 10% specifically for technology transfer. A science fund will be established using only its interest earnings for career development, while co-financing with the private sector is encouraged if beneficial to the nation. So, the proposed funding model for agriculture and fisheries research and development where ginaim nila nga sustainable ilahang pagtabang with allocating at least 1% sa gross value added sa sector. So, apil na diri ang Department of finance sa pag-create og revenue measures. By doing this, makatabang sila sa pag-focus sa career development sa workers o para sa sector. Next is Section 84, Excellence and Accountability in Research and Development. The department, along with the Department of Science and Technology, or DOST, and other agencies will create a national guidelines for evaluating research and development activities and institutions using an independent interdisciplinary team of viewers. Independent means the reviewers will not be influenced by any of the institutions they are evaluating para ma-ensure ang fairness and objectivity. While interdisciplinary means the team will include experts from various fields such as agronomists, animal scientists, aquaculture scientists, etc. Uh, so the department will work together with the Department of Science and Technology and possibly other relevant agencies na mag-set of national standards and procedures assessing research and development. Next is Section 85, Communication of Research Result and Research Extension Linkage. Research information and technology will be shared via the National Information Network or NIN. Government agencies, state colleges, universities, and select private institutions will be computerized, networked, and updated regularly to provide agricultural and fisheries research results and available technologies through the NIN. So, through the NIN, ang mga institutions kay maka-share og results, new technologies, and valuable information, ensuring that the latest advancement in agriculture and fisheries nga accessible sa mga stakeholders across the sector. Next is Section 86, the Declaration of Policy. The state's policy is to promote science and technology for national development, prioritizing the use of research results through education, extension, and training. It will support a national extension system to help transform Philippine agriculture and fisheries from a resource-based to a technology-based industry. So, kaning nga policy supports creating a national extension system and also a network that will spread og mga new knowledge, techniques, and mga technologies para sa mga gatrabaho sa agriculture and fisheries. So, ilahang goal is to shift the industries from relying on natural resources to becoming the one technology-driven sectors, making them more efficient, sustainable, and competitive. Next is Section 87, Extension Services. Agriculture and Fisheries Extension Services support farming and fishing communities through training, advisory, demonstration, and information services. Training programs provide essential education on topics like sustainable practices, pest management, and business skills, while advisory services offer personalized guidance to help improve productivity and decision making. Demonstration services allow communities to observe new techniques and or technologies in action, making it easier to adopt innovative practices. Information and communication support delivered through tri-media channels such as print, broadcast, and digital. It ensures timely access to industry updates, market trends, and weather alerts. Altogether, these services enhance skills and improve the overall sustainability of agriculture and fisheries. So, ang agriculture and fisheries extension services plays a key role in supporting local farming by offering help such as training, advice, demonstration, and information. And also sa mga technique nga maka-encourage nga mo adapt o mga innovative methods. So these services will help farmers and fishers learn sustainable practices, improve pest management, and develop business skills through educational programs to improve decision making and productivity. And last is Section 88, special concerns in the delivery of extension services. Agriculture and fisheries extension services will be multidisciplinary, involving farmers, fisherfolk, their organization, and stakeholders in food and non-food production, including public and private sectors. A national merit and promotion will, system will be established for extension personnel to ensure professionalism, excellence, and productivity in delivering government extension services. So, this approach ensures a collaborative effort to improve agricultural and fisheries practices. They aims to recognize and reward professionalism, excellence, and productivity para ma-ensure ang provide extension nga well qualified and motivated to deliver quality support to communities.
Good day everyone, this is John Ferby Boagas and I'll be continuing the topic on Chapter 2 regarding the extension services. And now we are on Chapter 89, which is the NESAF or the National Extension System for Agriculture and Fisheries. Chapter 89 says that the department, in coordination with the appropriate government agencies, shall formulate the NESAF or the National Extension System for Agriculture and Fisheries. For NESAF, naa siya tulo ka subsystem. First is the national government subsystem, followed by the local government subsystem, and lastly is the private sector subsystem. So, kani sila ng mga subsystem or the NESAF in general, ihag yung tumong ani is to promote or to enhance the agriculture and the fisheries industry in the Philippines. So, in what way man? Diba, there were mentions na mga extension services. Kato nga mga extension services, mo to siya ang gina-offer ni NESAF para ma-promote or ma-enhance ang agriculture and fisheries industry in the Philippines. So basically, it aims to enhance the skills of our farmers or mga fisher folks. And now, atong lantawon kung unsa ang mga roles sa LGU when it comes to the extension services. If we're going to read the text above, makita nato na one of the roles of the LGU is to provide direct agriculture and fisheries training. I think one of the example na ako ang masite is my work immersion experience at the City Agriculture Office. So, bali mag-travel me from different places and among gina-travel na mga area is those area na layo gyud sa city proper. So, bali mag-conduct me og mga lectures regarding farming in general or agriculture in general. And included po diha ang kanang topic when it comes to buhat bitaw fish pond. So basically, gahatag mi og lecture nga unsa gid ang proper management and at the same time unsa gid ay ang proper na depth if mag-engage ka og mga fish pond, mga ana na mga butang. Aside from that, if we're going to read also the text above, makita nato na ang mga SCUs or mga state colleges, universities, kay naapod sila yung mga role. One of those role is the pag-provide og mga degree or non-degree mga training programs. I think ang ato ang matag ani nga example is the Central Luzon State University kay kana sila na sila BS Fisheries or other schools in the Philippines kay naga-provide og BS Fisheries and kuan pod mga researches, mga technical assistance kaning mga researches. I think one of the examples na ato yung maingon ani is kaning mga thesis. For example, someone kay magbuhat og thesis regarding sa unsa gid ay ang proper na management ani na variety sa isda, mga nana bitaw. Now, ato ang lantawon ang role sa mga private sectors. And if we're going to read the text above, makita nato na on section 91, gipakita or giingon na atong mga farmers, mga fisher folks, mga associations, and other na private na sectors kaya they are encouraged to participate in extension services or extension ng mga activities, for example, community organizing, agribusiness, or mga trainings when it comes to management skills or managing your skills. Now, if ang kato ng mga private sector kay nag-engage sila ani na training, the department is authorized to commission and to fund those mga trainings na gi-undertake sa private sectors. Para sa role sa ato ang government agencies, I think same ra gyapon sila sa LGU na akong gi-mention kaganina sa section 90 together with the SCUs or the state colleges and universities and the department kay ilahang gina-assist ang LGU para sa effectiveness sa ilahang extension services program. So bali ga-offer gihapon sila og mga technical assistance, mga training sa employees or mga personnel sa LGU, mga improvements sa physical na mga buildings or mga physical na facilities, and at the same time naagihapon atong mga researches na magamit gihapon sa atong mga farmers and mga information. Of course, I think example po ani is when I had my work immersion kay giuban ko sa isa sa personal sa DA na uban ko niya sa radyo and nakita nako na ga-inform gid sila sa atong mga farmers kung unsa na bay update sa agriculture, unsa na bay naa sa DA na pwede nila doon. For Section 93, it talks about the funding of the extension services. So, bali dari, gi-explain na from the department, maghatod gyapon sila og kwarta sa LGUs and katong kwarta na ihatag sa LGUs mo na ginagamit na fund for mga extension activities na ilang buhaton. And also, gi-state po dari sa Section 93 that the funding for agriculture and the fisheries extension services or mga activities should be at least 1% of the GWA or the gross value added by 2001. Section 94 is all about excellence and accountability in extensions. And ang Section 94, gina-emphasize niya ang pagbuhat o guidelines in evaluating the extension activities. Of course, kaya dapat mo na i-evaluate if kani ba na province or kani ba na lugar, ina-perform ba nilang tarong ang ilang extension activities. And of course, naay mga evaluators na mag-evaluate ana.
Section 95 aims to strengthen communications and support to the local government units through multimedia and technology. The department, like the government agencies, will work with the universities and colleges to create an integral multimedia system to support the LGU extension programs. They will also set up connections with the National Information Network or the NIN to make information across the LGUs and national agencies more seamless. Title number 4, Rural Non-Farm Employment. Section 96 focuses on the state's commitment to supporting full employment, especially in rural areas. The idea is to provide enough job opportunities for people to make a decent living, which can prevent the migration of workers to cities in searching for jobs. As economies modernize, they often need fewer workers in agriculture because of the new technology and efficiency. This trend can reduce the job opportunities in rural areas, leaving many people with fewer work options. To address this, the state aims to create policies and programs that will offer or to improve job opportunities in rural areas. Section 97 focuses on the objectives of rural non-farm employment and emphasizes the creating job opportunities outside of the traditional farming in rural areas, helping communities grow and improve the quality of life. Section 97 focuses on the objectives of rural non-farm employment and emphasizes creating of job opportunities outside of a traditional farming in rural areas, helping communities to grow and improve their quality of life. First is the basic needs approach. This approach means ensuring the people's basic needs like the food, water, shelter, and health care. Second is the education and training need. By improving the education and skills training, rural workers can become more adaptable and able to switch different jobs as needed, making them more resilient in changes of the economy. So rural industrialization and agro-processing and communities. This involves the setting up of industries and businesses that add value to agricultural products in rural areas, like the factories that can run raw crops into packed goods. This create job boost to local economies. Next is to increase the rural worker incomes. This goal is to improve the rural workers' earnings so they can enjoy a better standard of living. Chapter 2, the Basic Needs Program. Section 98, Program Principles. First is the no credit subsidies. This means that the program won't offer special credit, discounts, or financial aid. Instead, businesses must follow standard banking rules when borrowing money. Next is the free government supports services. Enterprises in the program can use government provided services such as training, information, and advice at no cost. This helps businesses access helpful resources without extra expenses. Next is voluntary private sector involvement. This private sector role is voluntary. Specialists from both government and private sectors will work together to design and test programs in select locations. Section 99, Participation of Government Agencies. LGUs responsible for the program application will give the IRA for the support. This means that the local government will lead the rollout of the Basic Needs Program, working with the national agencies and the private sector. And in return, their budget from the internal revenue allotment will be increased as recommended. Second is the Cooperative Development Authority will promote the formation and growth of the cooperatives and associations. Next is the Department of Education, Health, TESDA to coordinate with the Congress to allocate their budgets for the education, training, and welfare for the farmers. Chapter 3, Rural Industrialization Industry Disposal Program. The Section 100 highlights that rural industrialization should be guided by market demand. This means that industries in rural areas should develop based on what people need and the market supports, rather than being set up artificially. The Board of Investment, or the BIO, is instructed to prioritize the incentives for business that have strong connections to agriculture.
Good day everyone, I'm Gadin Bida Laura and I'll be discussing to you the section 101 to section 105. First, let's discuss with section 101, which is naturally ang role of government agencies. LGUs are in charge of giving one-stop shop services to new businesses. LGUs can also conduct investment and marketing missions as long as they cover the expenses. Napod like coordination with the Department of Trade and Industry and Board of Investment para mag-set og investment priority adani ang mga rural areas. Also, regional wage boards should consult participating enterprises in this program before they issue wage order. For example, kung ang usa ka probinsya o lugar gusto mo encourage og food processing, pwede sila mag-set up og industrial park para mas daghan ang mo invest og mas makatabang sa local economy.
Next is Section 102, Participating Enterprises. Participating business can request free training, technical, and advisory services from government agencies and wala sila bayaran ana. Free. They can also receive incentives if they subcontract production work sa mga farmers o fisherfolk during off-seasons. For example is fruit processing company may have a local farmers to help package goods during harvest season, providing farmers with extra income.
Next is Section 103. Private sector financing ang most of the facilities for this program, while essential infrastructure is supported by the government like roads. It ensures businesses take on their own financial responsibility para ang government makasupport siya og in mga infrastructure para sa environment and para po sa business friendly. Next is Section 104, which is all about TESDA. TESDA or Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, sila ang in charge na mag-organize og training programs for local communities. Eventually, ang coordination ana nga mga training programs ipasa dayon nila sa LGUs para magpadayon ni sila sustainably. For example, si TESDA ga-train siya og mga locals dito on manufacturing skills needed for food processing. Later on, ihatag din niya sa LGU na para ipadayon sa LGU ug unsa ang mga needed pagyud ana sa mga locals nila. Section 105, ang DENR or Department of Environment and Natural Resources ang mag-lead sa mga training for sustainable coastal resource management o fishing techniques aron ma-preserve ang resources o maprotektahan ang mga panginabuhian sa fishing communities. For example, ang usa ka fishing community mo attend og mga training sa DENR on sustainable fishing which helps keep fish stock healthy o nagsuporta pud sa mga mangingisda o mananagat. Fisher folk may receive training on sustainable fishing techniques to help preserve fish population while supporting their livelihood. For example, ani kanang dito sa among lugar which is dapit sa dagat, most of the mga fishermen ato kay ga meeting sila and dito sa ilang meeting ginakuan dito nga unsaon ang mga need nila nga buhaton para ma-preserve ang mga population sa isda o unsa ang mga bawal pud nila nga buhaton. Like manguha og mga gagmay nga mga isda which is very wrong kay kung mga gamay ang mga isda dili lang isa ang mag-suffer kundi tanan community ang mag-suffer labi na ang mga mangingisda lang ang mga panginabuhian. And that is all. Thank you.
Section 106, the role of the Technology and Livelihood Resource Center, or the TLRC. So, ang Technology and Livelihood Resource Center daw kuno is ga-train og mga workers nga part sa mga programs para ma-fulfill ilang basic needs sa society. So, naay two main areas which is ang entrepreneurship o ang management. So, the TLRC helps workers learn how to start and manage their own small businesses. Include na dito ang teaching skills like planning, budgeting, marketing, and unsaon pag-manage sa business risk. When it comes sa management naman, ga-train gyapon sa workers if unsaon nila effectively pag-manage sa ilang work, especially in relation to the basic needs programs. So, meaning ani, tudluan sila on how to organize tasks, handle resources, and lead teams to make sure that work is done efficiently. So, in short, the TLRC helps workers improve their skills so they can run their own businesses or manage important programs that support people's basic needs. And this training helps them become more successful and contribute to the community. In section 107, the special training projects for women. So in this section talks about creating special training programs for women. So coming up programs will be planned and carried out by the department, working together with other relevant government agencies. So ang goal is to help women gain the skills they need to take part in important projects, especially katong mga related to basic needs like food, health, and housing, and rural industrialization, developing industries in rural areas. The goal is to give women the opportunity to contribute to these areas and improve their own lives and communities. So let's move on to this section 108 to 110, which is trade and fiscal incentives. In section 108, taxation policies must not deter the growth of value-adding activities in the rural areas. The word deter means to discourage or prevent something from happening. So, when we say taxation policies must not deter the growth of value-adding activities in rural areas, it means that tax policies should not make it harder or less attractive for businesses or industries to grow or add value to products in rural areas. The statement says that tax rules should not make it more difficult for businesses in rural areas to grow, create jobs, or improve products. If taxes are too high or complicated, ang mga businesses might decide that nga dili mag-invest or operate in rural areas, which could harm the local economy. So the goal is to have tax policies that support growth and development
This section provides tax benefits to businesses involved in agriculture and fisheries. For the first 5 years after this law is passed, businesses in agriculture and fisheries, once they are certified by the department, dili na sila mo pay og taxes. Mao ni ginatawag na tariffs and duties if mo-import sila og tools and materials needed sa ilang work. These include things like fertilizers, machinery such as tractors and trucks. So for example, si farmer, need siya magpalit og tractor sa other country. So mobayad jud siya para pag-import ana. But under this law, dili na sila magbayad sa ilang bayronon for the first 5 years. So this section helps businesses in agriculture and fisheries by making it cheaper for them to import the things they need for their operations. For 5 years, they won't have to pay import taxes on things like equipment, seeds, or renewable energy tools as long as the item are used by the business itself. So the government will set the rules for how this will work within 90 days for the law being passed. Section 110 of the law talks about penalties for anyone or any businesses that tries to get around the rules stated in Section 109. So, who can be penalized? So, mauna siya ang mga individuals and business like partnership, corporation, or uban pang ng mga legal entity or organization na mag-try or break sa rules sa Section 109. So, what are the penalties? So, mauna yung pagkabriso for at least 6 months to 1 year. Then, manghatag og fines up to 200% of the value of goods they imported illegally. So, ang court pwede siya magpili na i-apply ang duha, which is ang imprisonment o ang fines. Also, ang ilang goods nga gi-import illegally is i-confiscate sa government. If a business imports goods that are worth more than its stated assets or capital stock, mauning kwarta nga gi-invest sa business. Or if the goods are sold illegally, it can be seen as proof or called prima facie evidence nga kana nga business is violated sa Section 109. In short, kana nga section if ang tao or ang businesses mo try or break sa rules sa Section 109 by importing goods illegally, makaatubang siya og penalties like pagka-priso, paghatag og fines, and pag-confiscate sa iyang mga goods or products.
In the section 111, the support for agricultural cooperatives. The government shall provide support to agricultural cooperatives in order to improve their rural development, boost their productivity, and stabilize their income from small farming and fishing by giving them financial support, technical support, and market support also. It aims to promote overall growth and sustainability in the agricultural and fisheries sector. In the section 112, economic diversification for rural areas. The government encourages economic diversification in rural areas to reduce poverty and dependency on agriculture and fisheries by enhancing their skills and knowledge through orientation and seminars, building more infrastructure and financial support. Through this, it will create more stable jobs and income. It aims to expand and balance the rural economy by developing long-form enterprises that generate more jobs other than farming. In the section 113, the collaboration with private sector. It encourages a partnership between government and private entities, but with the promising incentives for private sector, like lesser taxes and benefits. It is happened to modern the agriculture and fisheries. By their partnership, it provides more technologies for farmers, sharing the skills and expertise, providing better access like roads and more buildings and infrastructure. In the section 114, social protection of rural workers. The government shall ensure that rural workers have access to healthcare, safety standards, financial support, and benefits to improve their overall well-being. It is aimed for the safetyness, financial stability, and health of rural workers that contributes to the sustainable development of agriculture and fisheries sector.
Good day everyone. Now we will gonna discuss the section 116 up to section 120. So let's start. Section 116, which requires the committee to submit regular reports and recommendations to Congress and other relevant departments. This section ensures accountability and continuous improvement. An initial budget of 20 million is allocated for the Oversight Committee to achieve its first objective, making sure funds are available for thorough monitoring. For example, the committee studies how a new irrigation project affects local farmers and then sends a report to Congress recommending improvements. The 20 million help fund this monitoring and reporting. Section 116 requires regular reporting to keep Congress informed and improve program. So that's for Section 116. Section 117, this section mandates an automatic review of the Act every 5 years. An independent panel of experts appointed by the President will evaluate the effectiveness of the policies and programs. Based on their findings, they'll make recommendations to the President and both Houses and Congress. This section ensures that the Act remains relevant and effective as conditions in agriculture and also fisheries evolve. For example, every 5 years, experts review the Act and suggest updates. For instance, they might recommend new support for small farmers struggling to compete. Section 117 makes sure the Act adapts over time based on expert review. The Section 118. Section 118, we have the repealing clause. This states that any laws, decrees, executive assurance, or regulation that conflict with this Act are repealed or modified as necessary. This clause helps ensure that the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act is the primary law governing the sector. For example, an old law limits new farming technology because it conflicts with the Act goals. This outdated law is repealed. Section 180 removes conflicting law to keep policies consistent. Let's proceed to Section 119. Section 119 is the separability clause. It states that if any part of the Act is declared unconstitutional, the rest of the Act remains valid. This provision protects the Act integrity, ensuring that even if one section is invalidated, the other provisions still stand. For example, if one part of the Act is ruled invalid, the rest of the law still stand and remain effective. Section 119 protect the Act overall validity even if one part is removed. Now it's moved to the last section, which is the Section 120. Section 120 states that the government will create a dedicated fund to support rural employment programs. The purpose of this fund is to make sure rural development projects have the resources they need to success. The main goals of the National Rural Employment Fund are simple. First is to ensure there is enough money to support rural employment programs. Second is to provide financial backing for projects that improve rural livelihood and create jobs. Why is it important? With this fund, rural areas can benefit from consistent support for employment and development projects, helping communities grow economically and sustainability.